Well, I really want to talk to you about it because it's kind of important. But before we get into that part of the conversation, can you believe that Quill will actually grant you business credit up to $250,000 maximum trade line if you did the right thing? So in today's conversation, what I want to do is I want to help you. I want to show you how to build business credit with Quill, a $250,000 maximum trade line, easy approval, no fee, no personal guarantee. Don't go anywhere. You are going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you are to ask me. If you are doing as terrific as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to speak to you about how to build business credit with Quill. And we're talking about $250,000 maximum trade line with easy approval, no personal guarantee, and no fee. And one thing I want to say is that we're talking about Quill, a company that we have rated 8 over 10. We have reviewed this net 30 accounts, this business trade lines, and we have rated this company 8 over 10. They actually report transactional data to Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, Equifax, and CreditSafe. This is pretty good because they have one extra credit bureau that they report your data to besides Experian, D&B, and Equifax. In terms of annual fee, zero. So when you think about Quill, I want you to think about an online store. Okay, they do have some distribution centers, but they don't have brick and mortar stores as Best Buy or Targets. So Quill.com sells office supplies, cleaning agents, healthcare and safety supplies, as well as tools and break room supplies. So you have a large bevy of products. Okay, overall, based on our calculation, based on our research, they sell over 1 million products. Okay, so everything from ink and toner to paper to face masks to office supplies to pens, pencils and markers to cleaning supplies to printers and scanners to computers and accessories, electronics, coffee and break room supplies, furniture, teaching and school supplies, shipping, packing and mailing supplies. Folks, what I'm trying to tell you here is that everything you need for your startup, for your established business, there is a great chance that Quill has it. Okay, I'm not going to go through the whole list here, and they even have what they call a tax center, where they actually print all the tax forms, all the forms from everything from 1040 all the way to 1120 or 1065. That's fantastic. One thing you need to know here is that Quill Corporation is actually a subsidiary. They belong to Staples. I know you know Staples. Everybody knows Staples, right? So they are a subsidiary of Staples, okay? And as a matter of fact, Quill is recognized as Staples' most profitable division, accounting for about 25% of the company's net income as of 2021, okay? And so this is a great company. Now, let me talk to you about the step-by-step. So when we talk about Quill, not quitting, when we speak about Quill, you want to build business credit with Quill. First thing you need to do, you need to plan things correctly. You need to get organized. You need to understand what is your business and what is your personal affairs. First of all, that's right off the bat, I want you to create a company. If you don't have a company right now, listen, I'm not talking about your side gig. You probably have a side gig somewhere and you believe, oh, I'm a businessman, I'm a businesswoman. No. You may be a businessman, businesswoman in your area, in your neighborhood, but we're talking from a legal and contractual perspective here. Do you have the right foundation? Do you have an EIN? Do you have an employer identification number? If not, go to the IRS website and get it done right now. Okay, if you have it, done. Let's move on to the next one. Are you incorporated? Do you have a separate legal entity? I'm not speaking about being a sole proprietorship. If you are a business, a lot of us people who are what I call neighborhood businessmen and women, they are just sole proprietors. You can't get the kind of limits we're talking about in today's show. You can't get that limit, the $250,000 with Uline, if you are not incorporated. All right, so you got to be either an LLC, an LP, LLC, limited liability company, right? You can be an S corp, a C corp. Once you do this, you want to make sure you have all the permits, licenses that are attached to that industry you're in, right? You want to abide by the law. Again, we're trying to run business in the legit way. You want to run a legit business, and then you want to open business bank account. So it's better, based on our research, that you open a business bank account with the same institution where you currently have a checking account, a personal checking account. Okay, you can also open a business savings account. You can also open business credit cards with them. All of this is you're doing all this to do what? You're trying to segregate your company from your personal affairs. All right. If you really want to get the best segregation, we have something called the segregation test, where you have 5 ways to actually isolate your business affairs from your personal affairs. So you have to segregate things operationally, legally, financially, contractually, and fiscally. So once you have planned things correctly and you have the right things in place, you need to register on Quill. Okay, you got to go to quill.com and you got to register. And this is how everything starts. This is how they're going to put you in the system. They're going to start tracking you. They'll start tracking your orders and respond to whatever you ask them to do. So first thing is you need to put your information in the account. And then you want to put more information. You can see on the first screen here. So you click sign in or create an account. And then you enter your company information as well as your own personal information. And you do the same thing also there. The next slide, you can see it. They want you to put more information. And then the third slide also, you want to put more information about, I'm not going to spend too much time because it's pretty self-explanatory here, the third slide. And one thing I also want to say here is that you need to join something called Quill Plus. If you want to build business credit with Quill, you want to join their Quill Plus. This is kind of similar to a Costco membership. You know, the Costco Plus, the Costco member business plus. I don't remember the right phraseology, but it's something similar. So you want to join now, and you receive a year's membership for only $14.99 as of the date of this show. But there are lots of perks and savings as a Quill Plus member. Really, hands down, you can really do a lot of things. You can do a lot of things with that membership. And one thing I also want to say here is that what will happen is that once you do everything, Quill will actually review your account. They will get back to you. At this stage, you're not getting a decision back from the salespeople or the credit department, no, because this is just a simple registration. So they'll notify you via email when your account has been created. They will actually email you maybe your customer number if everything is fine from that point on. And so from that point on, you can start actually buying stuff on Quill.com. You will be in their databases. If there are promos, if there are sales, if there are campaigns going on, they will contact you, of course, if you have signed up for that newsletter, and you should be good to go. Step number 3. So once you have planned things correctly, you have registered on Quill.com, you need to have a better understanding of Quill. What is Quill? I mean, of course, you'll probably tell me, well, I've been on the website, I've seen the pictures, the product they sell. That's pretty good. But how well do you really know what Quill is selling? I'm not talking about just telling me about 30% of the product catalog. Do you know 90% of the product catalog? Do you have a better understanding? Do you know the ins and outs? Do you know do you know what kind of services they offer? Do you know the primary product? Do you know their ancillary products, their subsidiary product, their secondary product, their tertiary products? This is the kind of analysis I want you to perform. Why? Because you're going to ask them to give you a trade line of $250,000. You better know their business in and out. They're not giving you the cash just like that if you have no idea of what they sell. And what you want to do is once you are able to deepen your knowledge of Quill's products and services, you can see how their product catalog fits with the products you need in your business. Right? You're trying to do that sync. You're trying to establish this symbiosis between your current needs, your current product needs, and the product that Quill is offering. Right? You want to have that sync. And once you do that, you want to create an operating budget. The budget will help you track your expenses, so you can have an actual versus expected. Right? You can do actual versus expected variance analysis to see whether you were over the budget or under the budget. This is a great tool. This is a great tool for not only for accounting purposes, but also for management accounting purposes. So you have financial accounting and you have management accounting, and those two are complementary, but they are different. I don't have time to get into details here, but the bottom line here is that an operating budget will help you. You want to explore bulk orders with Quill so you can save money, right? I was telling you earlier that once you are in the database, they'll start sending you stuff, right? They'll send you promotional stuff. They'll send you occasional stuff about what's going on in the company. Especially if you are a Quill Plus member, you'll get more info. So that's where you can save money. And you also want to create projected expenses data. So this is where you put your info. And this is different from an operating budget, because here you dip a little deeper. You dig a little deeper into the kind of expenses that your business is anticipating, right? And you create something to make sure that you are able to track your expenses, your office supplies, among other things. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another session of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. I'm still having a conversation with you about how to build business credit with Quill. And we're talking about $250,000 maximum trade line, easy approval, no personal guarantee, no fee. The fourth step I want you to take is to build a relationship, right? We want to make sure that if we're going to ask Quill to grant us a trade line of up to $250,000, we want to establish a relationship, because they're not going to give you the cash just because you have a company name that sounds fantastic, or you are gorgeous personally, or you are beautiful. I mean, I'm digressing here, right? I'm just joking. But my point is that we got to take things seriously. And what you want to do is you want to buy, the way you build a relationship is you want to buy up to $1,000 worth of products over 90 days, 60 to 90 days. You want to buy things in small amounts, and you want to do this over several days so that you have, like, for example, in a month you can place 10 orders. So there will be 30 orders. So 30 tiny orders versus one large order. The tiny orders are way better. Why? Because they create something called transactional history. They create a pattern. And you can shop by category if possible. Okay? Order over the phone if possible. The bottom line is you want to speak to someone. Don't do things just online. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's kind of cool to order things online. It's fast. It's cost effective sometimes, but if you are going to request credit, if you are going to request business credit, you better start speaking to someone. And again, we're not speaking about, a tiny amount. We're not speaking about a tiny, a teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini credit limits of $5,000 or $2,000. We're talking about $250,000 maximum limit. So this requires a little bit of homework, I believe. So you want to order over the phone, or you want to cultivate a relationship with the salespeople. You want to get to know them personally if possible. And if you are lucky to be in the vicinity of a Quill's distribution center or office, ask if you can just maybe visit them. We're showing you on the screen their locations. Of course, I'm not asking you to go and harass the staff, but you want to have a contact, and if your contact wants you to come over, why not? Step number 5. Once you have done everything, you have prepared you have built a relationship, or you're still building a relationship, you have a better understanding of Quill's products catalog, you want to prepare a net 30 application package. Now, this could be a net 45 or net 60. As a matter of fact, we encourage our viewers, based on our research, to always strive for the top. In other words, you want to stretch the limit a little bit. So ask for net 60. Of course, you just want to, it's not about just asking. You need to ask, but you need to back it up, right? So if you ask for net 60 or net 45 and, something happens, they don't approve you for net 60, guess what? They'll probably approve you for net 30. But if you just go for a net 30 and they reject your application, they might actually grant you net 20 or net 15. So it's always good to over ask and, just put it out there. Maybe you might be lucky. You might be lucky and you might be approved for a net 60. So the net 30 application package that I'm just talking about should have a business plan, an operating budget, projected data, business proposal, and last but not the least, business references. I'm speaking your key suppliers, your key customers, the banking institution where you have, or the credit union where you have your account, your checking and savings account, for example. And so the business plan, let me repeat that: business plan, operating budget, projected data, business proposal. Now, the business proposal is really where you are explaining to Quill, rather. I mean Quill, not Uline. You want to talk to Quill. You are explaining to them why they should approve the credit limits, because it's business for them. Why your company is financially stable, financially sound, and so this is important. You want to take it seriously. If you don't have the I would say, if writing a business plan is not your forte, or writing a business pitch is not your forte, guess what? Outsource it. Have someone else do it. You can hire a freelancer, but please do not be greedy though. Don't be stingy trying to pay people like $5 to get a business plan. If you ever pay $5 or $10 or $20 for a business plan, you've paid for free. You paid for a free template. That's what it is. You want to really invest in your business plan, okay? So you can use software such as LivePlan, Enloop, Business Sorter, Business Plan Sorter, or Base Plan, for example. Or you can hire a local consultant, but you just hire someone who knows what they're talking about. Step number 6. This is the last but not the least step, and this is so quintessential. What you want to do here is that once you have gathered all that documentation, you have had somebody craft for you a business plan, an operating budget, a projected data recap, business proposal. You want to pack everything nice and easy, right? And you want to visit a local distribution center or the nearest Quill office. Of course, listen, you got to have the authorization beforehand to come. But this is where you want to bring the business plan and the pitch. And you want to explain to the staff or the salesperson or the credit department that granting you up to $250,000 worth of credit, worth of trade line, it's a win-win idea. In other words, they're not a bank, because if you really think about it, for a vendor, granting such an amount, it's a credit risk. It's really a risk, right? Because something happens, they give you a product, they ship you inventory, and you don't pay. That's a loss for them, right? And I mean, accountants call it uncollectible accounts, right? And they have something called allowance for doubtful accounts. Exactly. So this is really a loss for the company. So they don't want to do that. So you want to explain that they are actually winning. This is what you can explain to them. Listen, I'm planning to buy. My company is planning to buy, say, in the next 6 months, up to $100,000 worth of office supplies, and we want to give you the business. Quill, we want to buy everything from you. What do you have for us? What kind of discounts do you have? Can you give us credits? All that kind of stuff, right? So you want to request a $250,000 trade line. And of course, you want to back up the request with your financials and forecasted data. Very important. Never speak just out of thin air. You want to back things up. You want to be quantitative. You want to use numbers. Okay. And so once you do this, just wait. sit back and relax, because Quill, their team will review your application, and you will hear from them within 7 days, and you will receive your granted net 30 account limits. And that limits rather, may not be the $250,000 that you requested, but if you apply thoroughly, properly, religiously, the strategy, the tactics that I just laid out in today's video, guess what? You will certainly get a comfortable trade line that fits your budget and that you can work with for some foreseeable time. Thank you so much for your attention, folks. I really appreciate it. I was speaking to you today about how to build business credit with Quill. We're talking here about $250,000 maximum trade line, easy approval, no personal guarantee, and no fee. Thank you so much for your attention once again. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.